Hi everyone, it's Liz, the Frugal Libertarian, and today I'm coming to you with a frugal video. I haven't done one in a while, and I feel like I've been shirking my frugal responsibilities. I wanted to talk about expiration dates and food waste in the United States. The idea of expiration dates comes from originally food that would easily spoil, so stores wanted a date on them that they had to sell them by. It didn't mean the food as of midnight that night suddenly becomes toxic and deadly. It just meant they didn't want to risk selling it anymore, because if somebody buys it and it goes bad within 2 hours or something, they're going to be mad about it. They might, if they stupidly ingest it, not realizing it went, that it had spoiled, that they, the store might be held responsible. There are some expiration dates that are kind of arguably valid. Things like, for example, giant thing of Hellmann's mayo. This is best if used by, now notice there are the words best if, not expires on. Best if used by August 19th of 2017. Now the reason this one actually has a little bit of credibility is because it has raw egg in it. Mayonnaise has raw eggs. And if it goes bad and you eat it, you're gonna get really, really sick. In America, people have gotten so used to the idea that a food expires on a set date that they will literally throw away perfectly good food just because it has a date on it that they think it's past. And people have become so unable to tell if something is still edible or if it's gone bad, if it has spoiled, that they're willing to follow these little dates. There are certain things that do not expire, but still get expiration dates on them, because now there's laws set in place that certain foods have to have expiration dates on them. Then stores can't sell them past the expiration date. The food bank won't accept the food past the expiration date. So all this food gets thrown away. Things like canned goods, which if you remember, canned goods kind of came about due to the fact that they wouldn't expire. But the whole point of canning food is to make it last a really, 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 really long time. So what happened in America is we now have these dates, and seriously, food banks are throwing canned food away. Canned food eventually will go bad. Eventually it could. Especially if it gets dented or in any way disturbed, it'll go bad. But guess what? You'll be able to tell real easily if it's bad or not. But there are some things that actually don't spoil, or when they spoil, it's so freaking clear that they're spoiled that expiration dates are essentially meaningless. Vinegar. Vinegar has an expiration date on it. What's going to happen to it after that date happens? It's going to turn more vinegary? Honey, it has an expiration date on it. They have found jars of honey in tombs in Egypt that's still edible and nutritious. So if it's lasted in a jar in a tomb for thousands of years, how is it going to expire in 6 months from you buying it? Butter. Butter is one of my biggest pet peeves. Butter, when butter spoils, it turns rancid. Salted butter is a preservative in food. I don't even refrigerate my butter. It sits, the butter stick we're using for toast and for all other cooking sits on our counter to stay soft. I have never once, not once, had a stick go rancid on me. Not once. Unsalted butter, it's gonna turn rancid faster than salted would, because again, the salt in it causes it to be preserved. People have been making and eating butter long before there was refrigeration. This whole idea, to me, it's insane. There was a girl I knew from high school who made cookies and then freaked out and went on Facebook and put up, oh my God, I made my cookies with, I just saw the date on the butter I used and it was expired. Am I gonna die? And nobody said anything different. And everybody was saying, oh my gosh, I have no idea. Oh, I wouldn't eat them. Somebody whose husband is a doctor was like, the doctor has no idea. Why would a doctor know about food spoilage? I asked the doctor and the doctor doesn't know. I was the only person to actually go, was it green? Did it smell bad? You're good. But that's kind of become the American mentality. I see a printed date. I have no idea what food looks like or smells like when if it spoils, what's gonna go wrong with it. So I'm not gonna eat it once that printed date happens because I'm gonna die. And there's so much food being wasted in the United States by people just throwing it out because a date happens. They're not even bothering to see if it's still good or not. They're not bothering to smell it or look at it. They're just in full packaging junking it. I've always wondered why in Walking Dead, why none of them have just gone to landfills and started digging out cans. Because people are throwing canned goods in the trash. Food banks, grocery stores are throwing canned goods in the trash because they've hit an expiration date. That's a gold mine. You know, go and dig up a landfill and find some canned goods because there's going to be a ton of them back there. If you can't tell, that's not how our house operates. The one thing I always get a little with the expiration date is milk, because milk does spoil relatively quickly. However, if it spoils, you know, it turns sour. You can smell it. So instead of going, oh my gosh, the expiration date happened, I gotta throw this out, and pouring all the milk out in my sink, I'm opening it and smelling it and seeing if it's still good. And if it's still good, we use it. I don't care if that date has passed. It has to do with how food is. And people have said, part of this dedication to these numbers is that Americans have become so separated from food production now, you know, that they have no idea how this works. There are some valid reasons, one of which is, well, after that point it's not going to taste as good, and we don't want you blaming us for it being saying, oh my god, that product's terrible, it tastes horrible, I'm not eating it again, when, you know, that's a best by date, really. And then some of the stuff is honestly, I think, just greed, because they know people are going to throw it out without trying it, so then they'll go out and buy more. So the company will make more money because the people are throwing the product out without actually ingesting it and running out and buying more. So part of it, I do think, is a little bit of greed. Like I said, I'm usually really good about this. Like, I will think to myself, okay, it's just stupid, it's an expiration date, just use it. Sometimes, occasionally, I give into it and I go, oh my god, just get rid of it, get rid of it. I have been trying since to fight tooth and nail to not react in that way, to stop myself from reacting so that I can, the logic hat can come back on and I can go, just try it before you freak out. Barilla pasta, penne, this is, again, if I was to open it and it has a funny smell to it, if I was to see something moldy, if it wasn't hard anymore, then I would chuck it. But the expiration date on this, September 2015. So a year and a half expired. Almost, it's going to be going on 2 years expired. I will still eat this. We actually ate a box from this batch not that long ago, and it was fine. Duncan Hines Devil's Food Cake Mix. Cake and brownie mix is another one that I'm always sitting here going, exactly why does this expire? There's nothing in the ingredients list of this that's anything that is like a short shelf life moist product. This is a powder product. It even has stuff in it that is put in here deliberately to preserve it. And yet people will throw this out as soon as the expiration date hits because, oh my god, it's gonna kill me if I eat it. And this expired. I've got it, I write them in big numbers on the top when I put them in the shelf, but I'll give you the printout. March 20th, 2014. So this is 3 years expired. And you know what? I would still bake it. And I have other cake mixes that actually expired long before this one did. Cake mix is something that used to go on sale a lot and used to have a lot of coupons for it. And now for some reason it's almost no coupons. So when it's on sale, I buy a ton of it and then I just hold on to it. I just never tell anybody. Nobody gets sick, nobody complains, oh my god, this is awful. Because again, nobody has any idea. Now the reason I'm telling you this is because being faithful 100% of the time to the number printed on a package of food or cleaning products or facial products or whatever else, really costs you money. Really can cost you money. If I was looking at this and saying, oh my God, it expired, I gotta chuck it, the money I spent on it would be out the window. And then I'd have to go and buy a new one. And again, cake mix doesn't go on sale that frequently, or at least doesn't get coupons that frequently. So I would be paying maybe a sale price, but mostly probably full price for that product. Now, if a product is genuinely expired, like if this mayonnaise jar all of a sudden started warping, like it started being squeezed in or puckered out in places, then I would know there's something going on in the jar and I would throw it away, regardless of what the date was. If I was to open it and it smelled bad or it had a weird color to it or a weird texture to it, throw it away. That's justified. Then it's gone bad. Then it's actually spoiled. Throw it away. There's nothing you can do. Yes, you're still throwing the money away at that point, but honestly, there is no option. There is nothing you can do. So yeah, then I would throw it away. But I'm not just going to sit here and go, 2014, we're gonna die, throw it in the trash. And you know, I remember when I was a kid, the only expiration dates were on things that had short shelf lives. So milk, orange juice, bread, eggs, unfortunately in the United States, and that's a whole other thing. But yeah, dairy products, breads, baked products. Those items had expiration dates on them. And you would kind of not look at it as, ooh, that's expiring, I don't want it, but you would kind of go, well, when's the least, you know, the farthest away expiration date, and that's the one I'm gonna buy. I have friends and I have relatives that are like, it expired, don't, throw it away. And I'm always like, no, you're wasting it. Open it, see if it's good. If it's not, then yeah, throw it away, because you're not gonna get any good out of a spoiled food product. But if you take it out and it's still good, don't waste it. Don't waste your money, don't waste the food. We need to end this cycle of food waste in the United States. It's really pervasive and it's really large scale, and it's kind of sad that there are people in the world starving to death and we're throwing out food because a number happened. You know, it's not like the food is pre-programmed and the minute it hits midnight it goes pfft, you know. So test it before you throw it out. Make sure it's bad. So yes, I am Liz, the Frugal Libertarian, and this was my frugal tip because I haven't done one in a while. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Please give me some comments down in the comment section. I like reading everybody's comments, good or bad. I like to get the feedback, so I really appreciate it. I will talk to you soon with more videos. Have an awesome day. Bye.